breaking form makes you stronger. This is one of the biggest advantages of training in the high 80% of your 1 repetition max and higher, is that breaking form forces you to make the bar go the right way. When the bar is too heavy, and it's really heavy, the bar can only move in a vertical line for a squat and a deadlift. For a bench, it's sort of different. It has to fit in that sweet arc, right? And if it doesn't fall in that sweet arc, you're going to miss the repetition, especially at 90%. Actually, sometimes at 85%, because my form sucks. As I said in the previous video, or in another video. What I wanted to talk about was form, because Izzy on Powerlifting to Win was talking about how bad form helps improve your strength. He kind of mentioned it, and I've always knew this. I've always known this from, I heard it from Louis Simmons, I think, or someone quoted Louis Simmons saying that the reason, I mean, how are you going to be able to get out of a bad position if you haven't been in that bad position before? That's how you get stronger, by pushing yourself into bad positions. Or you don't purposely do, you try to have perfect form, because perfect form, the truth is, perfect form is what allows you to have the best technique and move the most amount of weight. The variable is the amount of weight you're lifting. Like with what, as Dave Tate says, that's what fucks everything up. It's the amount of weight you lift. It changes everything. It changes how hard you have to push it. You have to make sure the bar speed is accurate. And kind of where I was going with this whole thing is that pushing yourself is the only way you're going to get strong. And when you have bad form and technique, it's sometimes okay. Izzy was talking about in Powerlifting to Win about how some people are form Nazis, almost to a point of being ridiculous and having to reset. I actually think there's a lot of value in resetting your repetitions, because it gets you a lot of first repetitions. And then if you're in powerlifting, you want to have a lot of those first repetitions, because I think that's important when you're trying to do powerlifting. Lots of sets, lots of sets, lots of sets, singles, doubles, even if it's light, because it teaches you to remember, practice staying tight, practice holding air, practice setting up. But one thing I know that is really effective is that when you are in a bad position and you don't have that ideal form, you will get stronger, because you're forced to figure out a way to get the bar back up. That's sort of kind of what I noticed with benching for me. It's like, you know, under all circumstances, I will push that weight up. Deadlift, same thing. Bench is a whole different story, because I'm fucking scared of it. And it's one of those things I constantly deal with every time I squat. So I always make sure I squat every single week. I can't go a week without squatting, because then it's almost every single week I squat. It's almost like I'm building courage. You know, I'm building this ability to kind of get more courageous, to conquer the weight somehow, right? To conquer conquer myself, to deal with the fear. Because right now, deadlifting, I'm basically almost fearless. And I'm very well in tune with what my abilities are, whereas with the squat, I'm not. In some instances, the bench is the same way. But I think if you have bad form, I think it's important that you are trying your best to improve it, of course, as I talked to before. But the thing to understand is that you really have to make sure that, like when I train somebody, and I train them for several sessions and several weeks and months, I meet with them one-on-one, I can see things in the way they move. I see movement faults that need to be worked on. And I can tell, based on my experience, not just training myself, but training other people, that if I have them lift this way every single time, it's going to lead to a bad movement pattern. That's what I'm trying to prevent. Bad movement pattern habits. Now, don't get me wrong, it's okay to have some bad movement pattern, because sometimes it's the only way you're going to be able to get the weight stronger. But understanding the bad movement pattern tells you something. Typically, for me, the reason why I like low bar back squat and why I can deadlift so much, or the reason why I have trouble staying upright in a squat, is because my quads are weak. Or you can just say I don't know how to use my quads properly. Probably because I'm afraid of hurting my knee, because every time I use my quads more, my knee can sometimes flare up. That's why I'm a strong deadlifter, and hamstrings are tight. My hamstrings are strong, my glutes are strong, my back is strong, because, I mean, that's the reason why. So when I did a freaking safety bar squat that's more upright, or I do a high bar squat, it's so much harder, because for the bar path to remain vertical, I have to stay upright. And I'm not strong in the upright position, or not strong enough. But deadlifting, I'm great, right? Bad form. How do you know how much you should do? How much bad form should you tolerate? Well, that's a good question. I think that's where recording really comes into play. Recording yourself, sharing it on the web, learning more about anatomy, about your form, about your technique. Someone requested a form check. I need to post it. Anyways, this is kind of what it means. You just have to learn yourself. That's how you're going to get better. Have a coach. That's another way. At one point, may offer coaching. I don't know if I will. I don't know how it would work, because I just feel like I would have to work with someone in person to help them, you know. But I don't know. Trying things out. Anyways, going on off some random tangents. Hope you enjoyed this one. Click like if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.